Let's get the show started, buddy.
All right. Good morning, Senior Solutions Nations. This is Jimmy Hernandez and Joe Johnson. We have a really good show for you today. And today's topic is really how you can make the rest of 2021 a very successful year. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joe.
Great, thanks, buddy. Yeah, guys, I just have a few announcements, a few things I wanted to cover before we get into the nuts and bolts and the content of our call. First is, I know we've recently just brought on a few new agents. I'm going to be getting you information on how to get your new agent starter kit. So if you're new and you have not ordered your starter kit, I certainly encourage you to get all the tools necessary to be able to go out and be successful and make a really good first impression and make a very solid in-home presentation. So as we mentioned, the call today is make it great, make 2021 a great year. And if you guys are watching this as a replay, in other words, if you're stumbled across this video on YouTube, or you're one of our agents and you're watching this again, which is great, do us a favor, just subscribe to the channel. That way you can make sure that you get all the updates. There's actually a notification bell that you can click to make sure that you get the updates. But at least if you subscribe, you'll be able to go in, you'll have a complete library of all the calls that we've done. And guys, honestly, we're putting out new content virtually every single week. We miss a week here and there. One more update I don't know if everybody got this email, but I got an email from Brian McCann, who's one of the owners over at YIG. They had a lead special. You know, they're creating these digital leads. They're like internet leads for final expense and mortgage protection / life insurance. Now, what I've come across is the agents that have had success with these are the agents that are actually just running them like they're direct mail leads. They don't call to book appointments. They just show up and, with the, print out the information in hand. But they have some what we would say overflows or inventory that are a couple of weeks old that they're trying to blow out for a really good discount. So you can see the pricing here in red. It says MP, which is mortgage protection life insurance. They're normally $9 a piece. Currently, there's over 7,000 of these leads in inventory. They're discounting them for 3 leads for $10. So basically 3 for 1. So they, works out to be $3.33 per lead. Again, these are leads that have never been distributed. They're not resold. They're not recycled. You can say they're semi-fresh leads. Like I said, they're in this email, it said they're between 1 day and 21 days old, which would be roughly about 3 weeks. So, I would say they're all within probably a month old. So they're not, they're not super old leads. The big thing is they have not been worked before. So they're new to you. They're fresh leads. Final expense leads, which are normally $8, there's 1,000 of those available. Same thing. 3 leads for $10. So $3.33. And you're getting the clients. Here's everything that you get. You get their phone number, first name, last name, address, obviously email address. If it's now I'm assuming it's going to be provided because it's an internet lead. So there's got to be an email address. Also gives you the date stamp, so you can actually see how old the lead is, date of birth, age, the amount that they requested, beneficiary, who would they want to name their beneficiary, in the name of the beneficiary. So if you are interested and if you want to see the list of inventory, if there's any leads near you, if you did not receive this email, just shoot me an email and I will forward you this email. And there's a PDF file. Well, there's an Excel spreadsheet with the list of every county in the United States that has leads, and there's a lead order form, and you're just going to order those directly through YIG. But I think that's a really good way, especially if you're on a tight budget, is to add some extra leads to your inventory. But the one thing on these leads, I'll just tell you, is that for best results, run them if possible. Unless you're strictly doing telesales, run them face to face. It's the best way to work these leads. What else do I got? Oh, a couple other big announcements. FEX Toolkit. If you had not noticed, I know when they first rolled out, I said, hey, they're going to be making improvements. They're going to be adding term insurance. Well, they've added term. I'm going to get a pen here real quick. I'm going to highlight something. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to use the laser. You guys can see my laser pointer up here, term. So it doesn't have every term product. It's got your basic simplified issue term product, like your typical mortgage protection. Who are some of the carriers? Mutual of Omaha, Americo, Foresters, AmAm. Right here, I just did a sample. I ran a full quote, and it will do the underwriting just like on FEX Toolkit. So you could put in their medical history or their prescription history. Here, I did a option, $150,000 term. It's a male. Put in the date of birth, age 45, as you can see here. Height, weight, 6'1", 250. Run full quote. Oh, I guess I can't. That's weird. I can't have the laser pointer and advance my screen. Okay. Quote, list a 20-year term. So now it will rank them all. You can see you've got Forester, Strong Foundation, American Amicable, the Home Protector, Safe Shield, Americo, Term 100. Let's see, the other American Amicable product, the Easy Term, Mutual of Omaha, Term Life Express, and then another Americo product. So this is something that agents have been asking for. So now it's been added to FEX Toolkit. So just if you see it in there, you can be aware of it. Also, if you haven't noticed, guys, Transamerica is like back in the game. If you're running quotes for a male that's in reasonably good health, like a typical preferred, final expense preferred, non-tobacco, you're going to notice that Transamerica is going to pop up number one. I'm going to get a highlighter here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to change it to red. Okay, so here we've got, I put in $15,000 premium, male, age 70, height, weight. I just put that in so I would have it. We're going to bank draft. Transamerica, number one, 102. And then you can see the ranking. Oxford, Foresters, Liberty Bankers, CVS, CFG, Mutual of Omaha. So you can see right now, Transamerica for a healthy male, even at age 70, is coming in $8 cheaper than Mutual of Omaha. And, Transamerica used to be like, that was like our go-to product like 2 years ago. Then they, made changes and really screwed things up. Now, over the last year, they've slowly, because they missed all that business, they're slowly getting back into the game. Just some selling points about Transamerica. They do issue their policies very, very quickly. They've got their e-application is so much better than what it used to be. It's a great e-application. This little star that you see up here, that means that they do true Social Security billing. And one of the things I'll just tell you about Transamerica is that when you use that Social Security billing form, it will drastically reduce your lapses. They are, out of all the carriers we have, they're probably one of the best when it comes to drafting. As soon as that client gets their money deposited into Social Security. The other thing, just a little tip about Transamerica is that their renewals on the back end are typically about a 0.1 to 1.5% higher than the competition, and they also pay lifetime renewals. And lastly, they're one of the few carriers that still accept the Direct Express card. Now, Jimmy, I'm going to say something. I don't know if it's true yet. I have to verify it. But I was talking to an agent yesterday that told me that, oh, did you know that Transamerica now does advanced commission on Direct Express cards?
Oh, wow.
And my comment was like, get out, like, shut the door. Like, no, they don't. So, yeah, they do, because I verified it. So, FYI, I'm not saying that they do, but I'm just saying I heard that they do. I'm going to verify it. But
Find out. So have you had anybody recently run business with Trans, and did it go through smooth? Because I'm
yes,
telling you, I had to get away from them.
I did too. Everybody did. Everybody did. But my recommendation is that with Transamerica, you definitely don't want to do a paper app. Still stay away from the paper app. Do the e-application. And they are, yes. To answer your question, yes, they are going through smooth. Their auto approval is up and doing great. So a high percentage of the ones that you will do will get, well, they'll get auto approved, not instant approved, but usually approved within, a day or two. So anyway, so if you're running quotes, you'll see Transamerica's popping up, especially for males. On females, they're like, in this particular situation, I did a female age 70. They're coming in ranked number 2. Forster's came in number 1 at $76. Transamerica's at $77. Jimmy, I think I cut you off. There was something else that you wanted to say?
No, I said MB Jet.
Yeah, MB Jet. Yeah.
My favorite underwriter at Transamerica.
Yeah. So, if you're out in the field, you're using your FEX toolkit. Don't be surprised if you start seeing Transamerica pop up as the number 1 carrier, especially for your healthier males. And even with COPD, their standard rate is improved as well. It's very, very competitive. Where they're not competitive is smokers. I don't know what, if they just don't want that business, but you do a male smoker, and they don't even show up. They're like off the chart. So guys, that's the updates for FEX Toolkit. Again, if you're new to Senior Solutions, I can send you out the link. We'll give you somewhere between a 14 to 21 day free trial, so you can try the toolkit out. If you like it, it's only $114 for the entire year. That works out to be roughly about $8 a month to have the toolkit. So with that, Jimmy, we're going to roll into the main topic of our call today, which is make it great. And what does that mean? Well, guys, what is today's date? I know we're in April. April the 9th. So we're 9 days into the second quarter of 2021. So the first quarter has gone by, okay? We still have 3 quarters. We have the majority. We have 75% of the year is left. So if you've been having a great year, if 2021 is off to a great start, which I hope it is, let's maintain that momentum and let's take you to the next plateau. If 2021 has been a slow start, man, the point of today's call is don't get discouraged. You got 75% of the year left to turn this year around and really make it a great year. And what Jimmy and I are going to do is just give you some words of encouragement and give you some tips of things that always help me to keep me on track, to keep me motivated, to keep me going out and being encouraged and being inspired to go out. And the one thing that always inspired me is that I just wanted to be a good provider for my family. To me, that was important, to be able to make sure that, we had safe transportation. I could, if my car needed tires, I wasn't, financially strapped to say, oh my God, my car needs tires. This is devastating. It's $1,000 for 4 new tires, little things like that. So, if anything, do it for the ones that you love, not necessarily even for yourself. My first big tip is don't try to be the jack of all trades, the master of none. Master one thing, master one product. And when I say one product, I don't mean like one specific carrier. I'm talking specifically about final expense. You guys know we offer, a wide variety of products. I mean, the list is enormous. Final expense, mortgage protection, annuities, IULs. We got long-term care. There's a lot of different products. My recommendation for you to make 2021 your best year ever is to narrow your focus and become a master of one product and make that product final expense. There's a million reasons why. We're not going to get into all the reasons why, final expense I feel is the best product to sell. I'll just tell you this, with everything that's going on in the economy and with COVID and people, not so much anymore. I think things are balancing out, but there's still a lot of people that are worried about losing their job or have lost their job. The great thing about the final expense market is that the majority of our clients, they're not worried about losing their job. They're already retired, or they're on Social Security disability. They haven't worked in 15, 20 years. They have a fixed income, which is not a negative thing. That's a great thing that they're on a fixed income. They're on a fixed income. They have fixed bills. They know how much money they got. They know how much they can spend. The final expense is a product that they absolutely they needed. They wanted. Our job is to go out and serve the client and make it affordable. So that's my first tip, Jimmy. Narrow your focus. Concentrate on one product.
Great.
Anything you want to add on to that?
Well, Joe, I can tell you in a lot of books that I read about successful people, they always say they give the same message, right?
Yeah.
And that was exactly what you said. Don't try to be a jack of all trades. Specialize in one category, focus on that, and get really, really good at it. And if you can do that, focus on final expense and really concentrate your efforts on one thing. Maybe final expense is not for you. Maybe you're focused on mortgage protection or whatever your focus is. If you really, I'm going to say, dig in, learn all the products, learn the little variances, learn the riders, learn all your options, learn how to close, learn how to overcome all the objections. Like when you get really, really good at one thing, then you'll be very successful. And then once you've kind of mastered it, then you can add on a product and so on. But don't try to learn everything at once.
Yeah. And what you're saying is become an expert at one thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Good advice. Tip number 2 seems pretty obvious, but find out what other top producers are doing in your field or your industry and simply duplicate what they're doing. Okay. Follow a proven system like what we have here at Senior Solutions. Like the beauty of what we've done, Jimmy, is that we've created a system or a platform, whatever you want to call it, for agents to be successful. But I don't know if it's human nature or it's just I don't know what it is, but it just seems like inherently agents are always looking for a shortcut, or they're going to try it a different way. Like, you know, find a system that works, follow our system, follow a proven system, the sales system, the lead generation, the marketing system. That is one of the biggest tip is like you don't need to go out and reinvent the wheel and create your own system. The system already exists. All you need to do is plug into it and follow it and maybe make a few modifications according to your your personality or things like that. We're not looking for robots here, but certainly follow the top producers. And what I can tell you is that all the top producers in our industry, most of them, they don't make cold calls. They don't spend a lot of time working, crappy leads. Maybe they did in the beginning, but eventually they worked themselves up where they could spend more time prospecting and making presentations, actually meeting face to face with clients by working some type of proven lead system. Second, I'm not really numbering these, and these are these tips that we're giving out today to for you to continue to have a great year, or maybe help you turn your year around if it's not going so great. These are in no particular order. Last night when I was putting the webinar together, I was really honestly just taking notes, and so we're dishing these out just as they came. There's not one that's necessarily more important than the other. But the next point that I want to talk about is I call it getting coached up. Getting engaged with your agent mentor, getting engaged with myself or Jimmy or your upline manager. And by getting coached up and working with someone that's already had success, man, it will drastically reduce your learning curve. It will help you get to the next level so much quicker. And I think a lot of agents, they hesitate to ask for help. And this is just my own feeling because I'm basing this on sometimes the way I feel, because I don't always ask for help either, is that sometimes me personally, I don't ask for help because I don't want to know the answer. I know that may seem kind of stupid. So in other words, I already know what I need to do. I'm just afraid to ask because the person's going to tell me what I already know I should be doing, but I'm not doing it. In other words, not buying enough leads, not investing enough in marketing, daily prospecting habits are not where they should be. So it's good. It's sometimes hard to work with a mentor because they're going to make you feel uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, that's the only way that you can grow, and the only way that you can get better is to work with someone that has already done it and is already at that level that you're looking to achieve. Jimmy, and I'll flip it over to you if there's anything you'd like to add before I go on to the next tip.
I've seen it so many times, Joe. What you're talking about with agents is like they'll come to me with an issue. I'll give them, I guess you can say what I call the solution. Do it this way. They don't listen. They do it their way. They come back and they're frustrated. I'm like, well, you didn't do what I told you to do. You did it the way you wanted to do it. So like if you're going to go to somebody for mentorship, just follow those instructions. Just do it, like Joe says, we have the playbook, right? Stop trying to call an audible and do it your way. Just follow the system. Because what you're gonna find out is the average of large numbers, or the law of large numbers, is gonna work for you. So instead of trying to figure out which ones are the one-offs that you could do it a different way, you're going to end up losing a lot more business than if you just follow the plan. The numbers will be in your favor. And so I think you're absolutely right, Joe. It's just human nature. We try to do it our way.
Dude, because most of us are, I don't think arrogant is the right word. I don't know, stubborn, or I don't know. We're just, it's a lot of it. Sometimes it's tough to ask for help. But one of the biggest tips that we can tell you is humble yourself, engage, and get with someone, myself, Jimmy, or somebody else in the company that has had high levels of success, and get their input on things. My next tip for 2021 is stop trying to sell over the phone and get out and run face to face. I'm just telling you, the more I listen to other people, the more and more I just, I just come back and think to myself, for the majority of us, is that selling face to face is the way to go. If you happen to be like just an absolute, closer, like just have special talents where you can sell over the phone, then okay, maybe you can do it. But for the majority of us, and myself included, I'm not nearly as good on the phone as I am face to face. And for me, to what I have found is to be successful doing telesales, you need to be on the phone 5, maybe 6 hours a day for 5 to 6 days a week. Okay, minimum. And most people, to be honest with you, Jimmy, they just don't have the self-discipline to lock themselves in a room and put in the work necessary. What's great about running face to face is that, man, once you pack your bag, you get all your leads, you plug your route into Road Warrior, and you're out the door. You got no choice but to go run. You know what I mean? You're already out the door.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? Especially, your first appointment, your first door knock is 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 miles away. You're already out there. And that's what I always, I always try to do is I go to my furthest door knock and work my way back. Because if I do my closest one, I get a phone call, my wife needs something, I can get, it's easy to say, well, I'm only, 10 minutes away from the house, I can scoot back. No, baby, I'm 50 miles away. I can't, so that's the next tip, man, is just run face to face, man. And I'm not saying don't do any phone sales, run face to face. The vaccine is out now, so most of our clients that we're going out to see are on the high priority list. So what you're going to find is that a lot of the people that fill out these cards, possibly maybe they've already gotten their vaccine. If somehow now, and here's a disclaimer: in no way, shape, or form am I promoting the vaccine, but if you can get the vaccine, I would get it. At least this way, when you're calling to book appointments or you show up, you can at least tell your clients that, take all the precautions. But if you've gotten the vaccine as an agent, at least you can tell your clients, hey, you've got nothing to worry about. I'll take all the precautions. Plus, here's my little certificate. I've gotten the vaccine. We're good to go. So my recommendation, last 3 quarters of 2021, Get out of your house, go door knock, do more face-to-face appointments to bump up your sales. Jimmy, anything
Well,
you'd like to add to that?
all I can do is just really confirm what you've already said. I
Okay.
can tell you, you know, when I was running really, really heavy and I was like busting the numbers up for final expense, it was for me all road trips. And
Yeah.
so I traveled all over Texas. I would travel. I never really took leads in my hometown of San Antonio, which is a really big city, but I traveled. And so I would work 2 or 3, maybe 4 days a week out of town. And it really got me focused on work, door
Yeah.
knocking, because I'm not at home with all the distractions. It's not like I can just go to my friend's house or, go do whatever, or, you get the point. So like if you really focus on those leads, on door knocking and working the whole day. So many times agents, the problem is they either get started early and leave early, or they get started late, right? But you're not working the whole day. You got to work the whole day. Treat this like your business. It is your business, right? I mean, I don't know how many times I've said this prior, but like when you work for somebody else and you punch a clock, I mean, you're expected to be there at, let's just say at 8 o'clock, and you're expected to work till 5, right? Well, why would you treat your own business with any less effort? So treat it like a business. Get out there. Now, I will say this: I've never been successful, like let's say prospecting and making sales over the phone. The sales that I have made over the phone, and I've made many, they come from either like existing clientele, like a repeat business or someone in the household, or a referral. But I've never been successful trying to cold call, or not cold call, but work leads and prospect over the phone and sell over the phone. I've never done that. I've prospected to set up appointments, but never to make the sell over the phone. And I can tell you, of all the agents that I've ever worked with, there was only one person that comes to mind that was consistently producing, consistently, I guess you can say, successful over the phone. And that was just simply because he did not have a vehicle due to DWIs, right? So like he wasn't allowed to
I know who
drive
you're
no more.
talking about. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And but because of that, he was forced to work from home, and he got really good at it. But I can tell you, this guy was a beast on the phone. He worked all day and even well
But
into the evening.
Jimmy, here's the thing. He was the exceptional.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He was the exception, and he spent big money on leads. He had an auto dialer. I mean, that was his. He was a professional telesales person.
Yes.
Yeah,
And he had the voice. He had, he was very
sounded
professional.
like a radio personality when you talk to him on the phone.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but not all of us. That's, I guess, the point that you're making is that it's the rare occasion. Most of us, myself, you admit it yourself, we're just, it's, at the end of the day, I just think it's easier to sell face to face than it is over the phone.
Yep.
One other thing too, just talking about doing road trips, guys, the best years that I ever had in personal production were like what Jimmy said, road trips. Now, when I say road trip, I worked for almost probably 5.5 years. I worked 2 counties that were out of state. I live in Illinois. I worked 2 counties in Indiana. So when I say out of state, I'm not talking about I had to drive 5 hours one way. I could literally get to the border in about, depending on traffic, probably about 45 minutes. And then my furthest appointment, my furthest area, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours away from home. But my point is that for 5.5 years, it was like a sales route. Like that's what I did. I worked out of state, different county, and just, I mean, my focus was narrowed. All I was, I wasn't worried about running errands or doing any other crap. I left the house early, came home late, and I mean that's what it took to be successful. Jimmy, I don't know, did anything else we want to piggyback or talk about before I move on to the next tip?
Only thing I can say is for most agents, the biggest problem for I guess the biggest problem that prevents them from being successful, it lies between their ears. It's in
Oh
their
yeah.
own brain, their own imagination. You create the reasons or the objections for yourself. And I'll just tell you this, because I've been up to see Joe in Chicago and Naperville, and I've seen his territory. We took a day trip to Indiana to show me, where he prospected on a door knocked, and I was just like, man, I've seen some rough areas, I gotta tell you. But
It was, yeah, Gary, Indiana's rough, dude.
woo, that was brutal tough. I mean,
Dude, sometimes like I would run appointments and I would get to my house and that house was the only house that wasn't burned down or boarded up on the block. Like that's how bad it was. And when you're running appointments and you have clients tell you, Joe, when you get to my house, don't get out of your car. I'll come get you. You know you're in a bad neighborhood. But hey, you know what? I stayed safe. Never had, honestly, great people. Never had any problems. Uh, uh, and so many of those are still on the books. And I get a lot of repeat and referral. A lot of people call me from all those deals that we've made over the years. The next thing that Jimmy and I wanted to talk to you about is being 100% committed to what you're doing and 100% committed to the process of committing to daily prospecting habits in door knocking. And I think the biggest thing that I have found, myself included, especially when I was new to this business back in 2009, that's when I got started in the springtime of 09, is that I think one of my biggest downfalls, Jimmy, is that I drastically underestimated the amount of prospecting required to make the sales that I needed to make, because I was working so-called, fresh leads, direct mail leads. Guys, just because you're investing in leads, man, it doesn't get us off the hook for prospecting. You've got to 10x it, as Grant Cardone would say. You've got to prospect more than you think you would have to. Make more door knocks. I mean, the biggest thing about making more sales, the easy solution is whatever you're doing, and if it's working a little bit, if you just increase the activity, then it's common sense that the overall production is going to increase. And as you increase your activity, then your proficiency will increase. And then it's exponential, because you increase your activity. And then if you can get a little bit better, even if it's only 5 or 10% better at what you're doing, if you can just increase your closing percentage by 5 to 10%, but then increase your activity and the amount of people that you're going to see, man, you're going to see your income skyrocket, not only because you're making more sales, but because your comp level is going to increase. So you compound everything, Jimmy. Compound the fact that if you really want to get a boost in your income, compound these factors, your the amount of leads, the amount of people that you're going to go see, increase the amount of prospecting, which is increase the amount of presentations and applications, and then compound that with a, let's say, 5, 10, 15% increase in compensation. Man, I mean, you could essentially go from where you are now and give yourself close to a 30, 40, 50, maybe even a 50% raise from what you're doing currently right now. And then the other thing that I think we all could get better at is following up on all your cancellations and your lapses. You know, when you get those notifications from the carriers that a client missed a payment, if it's convenient, especially if it's in the area, man, don't call them. Just go to their house. That's what I do. I get a cancellation notice. I'm running appointments. I'm doing my door knock. I get an email from Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, whoever. Oh, this policy's in lapse of, or in what's the word they say? Danger of lapsing. I'm not going to try to call that. I'm going to stop by the client's house and find out what's going on. Maybe we need to adjust the premium. Maybe they need to be, maybe I need to rewrite them, put them in with a different carrier, or, you know, try to lower their premiums a little bit to save the deal. So commit to yourselves 2021 and throughout the rest of your sales career, you're going to be committed to following up on all your lapses and all your cancellations. And then to piggyback off of that, this is kind of a two-part thing, is get good at getting referrals. Guys, if we're not getting referrals, man, those are the easiest and the cheapest leads you will ever get in the planet, is getting referrals. And if you're not getting referrals, you're missing the boat. We've got we've got the ERS system for getting referrals. Sorry about that. We have the, like I said, ERS, emergency response system, the initial survey. The other thing that you can do is deliver your policies. If you don't want to have them delivered, at least when you know that that policy has been delivered, swing by the client's house when it's convenient and just do a policy review. Get referrals when you go over the policy, and then when you do your 6-month or your annual reviews, get referrals. So Jimmy, I'm going to turn my phone on silent. I'm going to turn the call over to you real quick to add on to what I was just saying.
Okay. Hey, I want to throw something out there for those of you that have done some recruiting and you have some downline agents. Man, this is the secret to making some extra sales right here. When those agents fall out, and maybe it's just me because I've recruited so many people over the years, right? But I get these lapse notices from for clients that were written by a former agent. In other words, that agent is no longer active. They're no longer with me, but I have the information. So I either call them myself and try to write a new policy, which oftentimes I do, or if I'm not able to reach that person, maybe they're out of town, then I'll refer that to an active agent that's in their area and throw them a bone so that they can go rewrite it. I mean, I'm telling you, these people that let their policy go, they want it. You just have to understand that in your brain, you have to understand that they didn't want it to lapse. They want coverage. Just trust me on that. So it's your job to find them an affordable solution to keep coverage in place or in force. And so if you have to write a new policy, maybe change the carrier, maybe change the face amount, but whatever you do, you just have to realize that it's not like they bought a TV at Best Buy and they decided they didn't want it and they refunded it. That's not the situation. maybe a financial, emergency came up. Maybe it was just an oversight. Maybe their bank account got upside down. But for whatever the reason is, I can tell you it's not because they no longer want the insurance. They want coverage, right? So you just got to go out there and make sure that you put something in force. So that's a huge sales opportunity.
Absolutely. Guys, our next tip is for the rest of 2021 is just commit to yourself that you're going to do this business 100%. Jimmy mentioned it before about treating this like a business. I know back in the day, Jimmy, when I was a kid, that I don't think people use this phrase as much as they used to, but I used to have a football coach that loved the phrase half-ass, like don't half-ass it. And I don't even know where that terminology came from. If you think about it, if you looked at somebody and they only had half a butt, I guess that would look kind of funny, right? You need two butt cheeks, right? But my point is that if you're going to do this business, don't half-ass it. Don't do it halfway, man. Commit 100%. Like be in it to win it is what they say, or don't even start it. There's a little catchphrase. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not good at catchphrases, but my point is that if this is your occupation, commit to it 100%. Commit to the process. Commit to your family. The other thing is that just be accountable to yourself. There's a great book out there that I read probably 10 years ago. It's Chris Gardner, who is the real life character behind the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. So he wrote a book, and then it turned into a screenplay. It was a great movie. If you haven't seen Pursuit of Happiness, it's an amazing movie. But he wrote a follow-up book, and he's probably written more, but the follow-up book was Start Where You Are. And the point of the book is it doesn't matter what your situation was. It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter what's going on. Just self-evaluate. Start where you are, which means accept for me, for you, let's everybody on this call today, let's agree that, hey, wherever we are today in life, wherever we are on, April of 2021, let's accept 100% responsibility for where we are. Okay. And I think most of us, myself included, I can raise my hand and say, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not making the money I want to make. The agency's not as big as I want it to be. There's nothing wrong with that. But what we need to do is accept for the fact is make the realization is that we are in life, we are where we are because of the decisions that we've made previous. That's all behind us. Wherever we came from, whatever is going on, it doesn't matter if you just start where you are and then move forward. Be accountable for what you're doing. And the biggest thing that had always helped me, Jimmy, and sometimes I got away from it and I always had to get back to it, is in one of my good mentors early in this business really instilled in me is that if you're going to do this business, and if you're going to be a professional, you got to track your numbers. That's the only way that you can keep yourself accountable to yourself, is to track your numbers. So what I'm going to ask everybody to do is for yourself, not for me, but for you and for your family, is to track your numbers for the rest of the year. Track your every bit of activity that you do, including the money that you spend, the leads that you're receiving on a weekly basis. Are you getting new leads? How many dials are you making? How many door knocks, presentations, applications, referrals? We have the sheet for you to track virtually every aspect of your business, and that will help you stay on track for 2021. The other thing I'm going to add to that, and then I'm going to turn the call over to you, Jimmy, is that tracking your numbers, being accountable, accepting where you are, that's all part of what I call paying the price for success. And I think we've heard that expression before. Hey, man, you got to, you want to be successful, you got to pay the price. Well, what does that mean? Pay the price. Well, in any business, in anything that you're going to do, paying the price means is that you're going to have to spend time and energy and probably money in anything that you're going to do that's worth doing and to be successful at it. So that's what's required. In other words, you got to do what's ever required. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to be successful and just have that drive inside you. In the Marine Corps, we called it intestinal fortitude. To me, intestinal fortitude is that when it's in your gut and you're not satisfied until you get the job done. There's something burning inside you that makes you do it. And like I said, you gotta have that driving factor. If you're not doing it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for your kids, do it for your grandchildren, do it for your dog or your cat, whoever. But man, you just gotta have that drive and know that everybody that you see that has achieved some level of success is that they paid the price of success. They just didn't magically get to the top of where they are. They paid the price. So know this is that for you to get to the top of your game, there's a price that's going to have to be paid. And then Jimmy, I'll flip it back over to you, and then a couple more last things, and guys, and we'll end the call and we'll start our weekend.
That was amazing, Joe. Well, the only thing I can say is, the reward for paying the price is totally worth it. As you're making your goals and you're tracking your activities, give yourself little rewards, to kind of keep you on pace. If I set a goal of, let's say 150 door knocks this week and I hit it, well then, go treat yourself to something, whatever it is that you like, right? If maybe you hit a production number, but like you gotta reward yourself and reward your family too, because your family makes a lot of sacrifices as well. For you to be successful, you're having to spend time away from your family, so why not treat them every now and then? Just give them a present or a gift, or even just money. But if you treat them, they're gonna be more, I guess you can say, willing to sacrifice that time that you're having to spend, prospecting. So with that, Joe, I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, this just came to me, is that regardless of how you look at it, Jimmy, is that you're going to pay the price whether you like it or not. You're either going to pay the price of success or you're going to pay the price of regret. I would much rather pay the price of success than a year, 2 years, 15 years from now reflect back and wish I had done something different, wish I would have paid the price, because then it's too late. So pay the price now so you don't have to pay the price later. The other thing that I encourage everybody to do 2021 is work on your sales skills. The beauty of what we do is that you don't have to have some amazing sales talent to be successful at what we do. That's what I love about the process and the final expense sales, is that it's so duplicatable, and anybody at any level can learn the skills. There's really no God-given talent required. This is not like playing professional sports. To be a football player, you got to have the size, the speed, and the strength and the agility. To play basketball, you got to have all the eye-hand coordination. With this, there's really no special skills that you need or talent. Everything that we do can be learned. It's called, if you look up skill in the dictionary, it's not a God-given talent. It's learning something. It's learning a skill. And one of the things that really helped me, and I still do it today, is that every single day I just take a little bit of time out of my schedule and I drill. I drill on sales scripts and handling rebuttals and different aspects of the business. And I would encourage you to do the same thing. The great thing now with all this technology and YouTube and all this is that you can do it anywhere as you're driving from appointment to appointment or door knock, and in between door knocks is that on your phone you can go to you can pull up motivational speakers. You can listen to our recordings in your car and really work on getting good. And if you just drill 15 to 20 minutes a day, every single day, you will get all the, I guess not the vocabulary, but the language down, the mannerisms. Then when a client gives you a rebuttal, it's like a muscle memory. A client says something, you don't even have to think about it. You just automatically know what the right response is. But you don't get that way without drilling to where it's just second nature is the word I'm looking for. You want those responses and be able to do an in-home presentation where you don't even think about it. It's just second nature. It's part of what you do. And lastly, the biggest thing I think that everyone can do in 2021 to not only increase your sales, but just to be a better person is work on yourself, self-develop. The three easiest ways to self-develop is, I say four, I'm going to say four ways. First is read books. Reading books is probably the easiest because there's books everywhere. Listen, you probably have some great books at your house. Maybe you just need to pull out a book and just reread it. Watching videos. There's tons of great people that you can listen to, not just in the insurance arena, but just in other arenas. Tony Robbins has a lot of great free material on YouTube. Les Brown, Grant Cardone. There's a lot of people that you can access to on video now. There's millions of hours of free video that you can watch. So you've got read books, watch video, attend seminars, find your local area. I bet you somewhere within a 50 to 100 mile radius, there's some type of motivational speaker that's coming to your area. Buy a ticket, go see what they have to say. The great thing about attending events like that is that you get to associate with other people, because everybody there is also trying to improve their situation and trying to take their game to the next level. And lastly is just associate with people that are in life where you want to be. Associate with people that are winners. Try to get the losers out of your life, the negative energy. If you're on, if you do forms of social media, Facebook, that's really about the only ones I use. I know there's a bunch of them. Please just stay away from posting anything negative. And this is my personal thing, is that if somebody posts something negative, I never comment on that. I just ignore it. So if there's something that you don't like on social media, don't get dragged in by responding to it. just ignore it. Focus on the positive things. There's a lot of positive things that are going on right now. There's a lot of positive things that you can be doing. There's a lot of positive information that's out there. Stay positive for the rest of 2021. And I think with that, Mr. Jimmy, I'll give you the honors, buddy, to any last comments or words, and let's close it up, and let's have a great rest of our Friday and a great weekend.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Well, there you go, Senior Solutions. There's some great information. I would recommend to go back, re-listen, take some additional notes, and let's just get out there and be successful. I'm going to say the biggest takeaway is make sure that you're tracking your activity and self-develop. So with that, y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
All right, man. Thanks, Jimmy. God bless everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye.